Kerwin, escorted by Mary and Mike Kerwin. Football, number 8, Sir Muhammad, escorted by Perez Ford and Katisha Ford. Football, number 11, Xavier Lugo, escorted by Lisa and Dan Lugo. Football, number 85, Ethan Staniak, escorted by Coach Coos. Football, number 59, Mike Caceres, escorted by Tina and Carlos Caceres. Football, number 54, Andres Yara, escorted by Patricia and Francisco Jara. Football, number 75, Thomas Przbilski, escorted by Diane Przbilski. Football, number 24, Tariq Jones, escorted by Naoka Jones. Football, number 80, Timmy Rodriguez, escorted by Melissa Rodriguez and Tim Rodriguez. Football, number 2, Anthony Adato, escorted by Joseph and Diana Adato. Football, number 42, Gabriel Chaparro, escorted by Norma and Santos Chaparro. Football, number 4, Diego Ibarra, escorted by Anna and Raul Ibarra. Football, number 76, Ryan Dabrowski, escorted by David and Jessica Dabrowski. Football, number 3, Dayton Burge, escorted by Monique and Antoine Burge. Football and band, number 32, Evan Lee, escorted by Eric and Karen Lee. Football, number 9, Connor Pitcher, escorted by Roseanne Covelli and Gordon Pitcher. Football, number 22, Anthony Ortiz, escorted by Chris Figueroa and Israel Ortiz. Football, Ariana Lampkins, Jacinta Navian and Glenna Lampkins. Football, Mariella DeToma and Kaylee Baldwin. From the band, Titani Johnson, escorted by Dimitri Johnson. From the band, Michelle Sy, escorted by Jennifer Sy. Band, Abby Izaguirre and Veronica Kamuda. Band, Melly Moraz and Martha Lopez. Band, Lauren Hibner, escorted by Teresa Hibner. Band, Alexis Lee, escorted by Kirsten Lee. Band, Edgar Sandoval, escorted by Samuel Sandoval and Horancia Sandoval. Band, Abby Brand, escorted by Mike Brand and Christy Kennedy. Band, Madeline Diliberto, escorted by Tim Diliberto. Band, Juan Bermudez, escorted by Yolanda Flores and Leonardo Bermudez. Band, Javier Romero, escorted by Angel and Martin Romero.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go in the box, stand on the counter.
Band, Misai Valdez Dominguez, escorted by Gerardo Valdez and Julia Dominguez. Band in varsity tennis, Holly Hunt, escorted by Dwayne and Teresa Hunt. Band, Ashley Moore, escorted by Greg and Sue Moore. Band, Elizabeth Hermosillo, escorted by Dennis and Lisa Hermosillo. Band, Madison Gadelis, escorted by Mitch Gadelis and Denise Savone. Band, Katie Kerwin, escorted by Mary Kerwin and Mike Kerwin.
I don't know if it's gonna...
Band, Kale Becker, escorted by Christy Becker and Greg Becker. Band, Joel Lopez, escorted by Francisco Lopez. Band, Samantha Galindo, escorted by Lisa Rodriguez. Band, Sebastian Della Torre, escorted by Jesus and Marcela Della Torre. Band, Sean Tornilla, escorted by Rose Tornilla. Band, Jacob Salazar, escorted by John and Lisa Salazar. Band, Laura Salazar, escorted by Samantha Rangel. Dan Benedict Austriaco, escorted by Belinda Austriaco. Dan Patrick Salazar, escorted by Ian and Catherine Salazar. From the band, Tiffany Flores, escorted by Jose Flores and Margarita Flores. Band, Ian Varquez, escorted by Ilvar Varquez. Band, Daniel Manuel, escorted by Zach and Jocelyn. Band, David Gomez, escorted by Christina Vasquez. Band, Eduardo Contreras, escorted by Eileen Contreras. From the band, Angel Rodriguez, escorted by Gina Rodriguez and Francisco Rodriguez. Band, Justin Seiler, escorted by Jennifer Horvath. Band, Elijah and Vanessa. From the band, Matthias Zemeckis and Randy and Misty Zemeckis. Band, Robert Dew, escorted by Antoinette Dew. Cheerleading, Ivy Jones, escorted by Paris and Canada Jones. Cheerleading, Diana Zotto, escorted by Maria Garcia and Jose Zotto. Cheerleading, Maya Cruz, escorted by Shannon Cruz Santoro and Donald Santoro. Cheerleading, Samantha Ramanteria, escorted by Vanessa Ramirez and Gabriel Villalobos. Cheerleading, Andrea Kushkowski, escorted by Sarah and Steve Kushkowski and Karen and Bob Effmeyer. Cheerleading, Susie Novak, escorted by Sylvia Tulita. Cheerleading, Morgan Ingalls, escorted by Laura and Rich Ingalls. Cheerleading, Jada Allen, escorted by Tyree Allen. Cheerleading, Detta Rogers, escorted by Laura Miles and Devon Myers. Toms and Band, Alexandra Sweetie, escorted by Adra and William Sweetie. Toms, Caitlin Jones, escorted by Suzanne and Robert Jones. Toms, Ashley Pitt, escorted by Sean and Lisa Pitt. Toms, Melissa Valadares, escorted by Karina Benitez and Jose Valadares. Toms, Brianna Sanchez, escorted by Rosa and Fabian Sanchez. Toms, Ryan Edwards, escorted by Layla, Daniela Teagan, and Faith. Toms, Sabina Brzezinska, escorted by Teresa and Chris Brzezinski. Toms, Mia Monroy, escorted by William Maria Cole, George Monroy. Boys Cross Country, Daniel Ford, escorted by Deb and Luke Ford. Boys Cross Country, Elvis Quiros, escorted by Alejandro Quiros. Boys Cross Country and Band, Thomas Rocha, escorted by Jose Rocha. Boys Cross Country, Soriela, escorted by Coach Finnegan. Boys Golf, Zach Dreda, escorted by Barbara Dreda. Boys Golf, Austin Otipeka, escorted by Val Otipeka. Boys Golf, Matthew Kinder, escorted by Britt and Lisa Kinder. Boys Golf, Daniel Spatz, escorted by Jim and Amy Spatz. Girls Golf, Tony and Dance, escorted by Bill and Vicky Dance.
Welcome, Spartan fans, and thank you for tuning in to tonight's RHSTV Friday Night Lights coverage in this week number 8 Southwest Prairie Showdown between the visiting Wildcats of Plainfield Central and your very own Romeoville Spartans. Coach Gibson and the Spartans look to build off of last week's narrow road victory against Plainfield East as they look to close off their last home game of the 2017 campaign with a victory. Coach Pereiro and the Wildcats have a current record of 3 wins and 4 losses as they look to keep their slim playoff hopes alive with a needed victory tonight. Tonight's game is also recognized as Senior Night as it gives Romeoville High School the opportunity to congratulate all the hard work and efforts of the senior class athletes and their parents. For the seniors, this will be their last time they get the opportunity to don the uniform and play in front of the home crowd. So sit back, enjoy, and get ready to cheer our Spartans on. As myself, alongside my broadcasting partner, Mr. Justin Lejeski, will be bringing you live coverage from Spartan Stadium.
Well, thank you for the usual amazing intro. It's good to be here for the last game. The season hasn't gone as great as the Spartans probably hoped it would, but they can still, if they win these last 2 games, come out with the same record that they got last year. So improvement. They've looked better on the passing game because they've had to adapt without Jordan Nettles in the backfield because he was kind of unfair to the most other teams when he had control of the ball. So now they really have to throw the ball more, and I think the receivers have really been doing a good job of running their routes and letting Cam get the ball to them.
Sure, you got two teams that are very comparable tonight. Like I said, Plainfield Central, slim playoff hopes coming in with 3 wins. They have to win tonight and then next week. Currently, they're sitting 6th in the conference, which is a huge, upgrade from where they've been over the last couple of years, getting those three victories. And for your Spartans, this is looking to continue the momentum. They got a 14-12 victory against Plainfield East last week, and we play Plainfield Central tonight, which is a winnable game, along with Joliet Central next week, which is also a winnable game. So they got an opportunity to end the season on a winning streak, and so it's going to begin very shortly as Plainfield Central is going to kick off to your Spartans, and that's going to kick off the first 12 minutes of first quarter action.
Yeah, Dayswan Burge was back there to receive that ball, but it was kind of an awkward kick coming off the stand. So he just let it roll past the end zone.
Yep, kicked it out of the end zone, so the Spartans will start off in the 20, or at the 20, excuse me. So the Spartans come in averaging roughly about 10 points per game. And the Plainfield Central defense has been giving up about 23 points a game. So it's a fairly comparable matchup, and a lot tonight will probably determine penalties, turnovers, field position, as the Spartans are starting off in the I formation, and that's going to be an off-tackle handoff for no gain.
Yeah, and the fact that Plainfield Central's given up, what'd you say, 23 averaging their defense? Yeah. That's really not that bad. 23 points a game if you're giving that up. That's like what you would expect at a high school game for scoring-wise. So the fact that they've only had 3 wins just kind of shows their struggles offensively, and hopefully the Spartans' defense can adapt to that and really put the stop on them tonight.
Yeah, Plainfield Central had a strong opening half of the season. Their last 3 games haven't gone so well, and that's going to be a quick pass from Neely to Kerwin, and that's going to be right at the first down marker, and it looks to be enough for the first down, giving the Spartans a 1st and 10. So a nice pitch and catch from Neely to Kerwin.
Yeah, just one of those short passes that gets the job done, and that'll move them to the 30-yard line.
So Neely staying under center in that I formation, 2 wide receiver set, and that's going to be a quick, that's going to be Neely. Looked to be a quick handoff to the fullback, but Neely kept it for a very short gain. So in terms of the wins for Plainfield Central, they played Plainfield North very tough in the opening week of the season, and they got 3 wins in a row against East, South, and Joliet Central. And then they've hit a rough stretch, losing to Minooka, Joliet West, and Oswego East. And for your Spartans, obviously in a conference game or in a conference like ours, we play each other all 9 games. So we pretty much played everybody, that Plainfield Central's played for outside of Joliet West or Joliet Central.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And that's just one of those things that happens. It's not a small conference, and you have to have it 10 weeks in the season.
So this was one of Romeoville's big wins. They got 3 wins last year, and one of them came against Plainfield Central. We had a big 52-14 victory last year against the Wildcats. So we're 3rd and 9 with 9:45 and change left in first quarter action. So you think this is probably going to be a passing situation. We've gone double twins. Neely in the gun, rolling to the right. Peru's in the field, and he's under duress, and Neely's going to be sacked by a host of Wildcats.
The offensive line kind of let people run right in front of him, and then there was somebody right behind him after he was going to get out of the way of the person in front of him, but someone snuck up behind him and was able to start the initial tackle that 3 people had to make.
So that sack puts the Spartans at 4th and 12, and we'll see the golden foot of Evan Lee, who, as you said, was booming them in.
Yeah, he get a 55-er before, not a field goal, a punt right before the game.
Yeah.
So let's see a punter, or the receivers definitely lined up.
He was definitely under pressure, got the ball away, and it's going to be a return by number 5. That is Jordan Saxon.
And that was Kerwin again on the tackle. He was the one who received the pass earlier. And that's one of the reasons the Spartans really haven't been able to get a lot of victories this year, is that everybody's kind of tired by the 3rd or 4th quarter because we have people playing both sides of the ball. Our football team is not a big football team. It's kind of small. So it's just unfortunate in that department.
So Plainfield Central's offense coming on for their first possession. They average close to 18 points a game. And for the Spartan defense, we are averaging, we're giving up 35 points a game. So we've got a 3 wide receiver set, and that is going to be a motion handoff, kind of a jet sweep to number 4, C.J. Buffkin. But it was a nice job by the Spartan defense.
It doesn't look like there was any. Doesn't look. Yeah, I was just about to say, it doesn't look like there's any gain on the play. And there's the tradition of the tubas running around, just starting early today.
Yes. So that's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 45.
Yeah, and as I was talking about earlier, 18 points a game for an offense. That's a little on the lower side.
Yeah, so that's a no huddle by Plainfield Central, and another jet sweep to number 82, picks up about 5.
That's Matthews Morganfield.
Okay, before he's wrestled down by the Spartans, so giving the Wildcat offense 3rd and manageable.
So no passing yet on the part of the Central Wildcats.
And so as you can see, they got the entire team looking to the sideline for the play, and everyone looks like everyone's got the play card on their wrist.
See, that's something I've never seen before, but I guess that would save time if you don't have to go in the huddle every play. So it seems kind of dangerous.
Yeah, trips to the home side, and their pass falls incomplete. Nice coverage by the Spartans.
Yeah, all the receivers were covered, and that receiver was left open, but there wasn't enough time to catch the ball before the defenseman was able to grab him and throw him down so the catch would fall.
So 4th and 5, and the Wildcats are in the punt formation. Obviously, with you don't want to give up field position this early in the game.
Yeah, it's really too early to risk any big plays, so it's better just to get the punt off, and that's going to take.
That's a nice punt. Takes a nice roll, and that's going to be down. It looks to be inside the 1-yard line. So for the Spartans' second possession, they're going to have to go 99-plus yards to punch this one into the end zone.
I didn't see who was back there receiving the ball, but he didn't even make an effort to run for it after it bounced. That took a crazy bounce towards the ends of the Romeoville end zone.
So that was looked to be, about a 54-yard punt?
Yeah, so that's a good way to get the leg going tonight.
So the Spartan offense breaking huddle for their second possession. We've got the I formation, Neely under center. 2 wide receiver set. Looks to pass, under pressure, rolls to the right. Finds an open man, and in and out of the hands of Chris Kerwin.
That was just such a good pass right to the hands, and I think he got kind of nervous to how open he was, so he just kind of fell out of his hands, and the Spartans will have to fight from that same spot again.
It was a nice job by Neely to avoid the pressure, and on the run made a nice pass. So this is going to put the Spartans at 2nd and 10.
So after that, the pass didn't work. I wonder if they're going to bring out the head-on running game, which is just try to push it right up the middle.
And that's going to be a quick fullback dive for a very minimal gain.
Maybe 1 yard.
And that will put the Spartans at 3rd and 9. So one of the things, too, you have to be concerned about is if you don't pick up the first down, you want to pick up a few yards here to give the punter some room. Otherwise, they're going to be standing right on your right on the back of the end zone.
And unfortunately, a couple weeks ago during the last home game, the snap for the punt was way too high, and it just kind of went over Evans' head. But he made a really smart play in kicking it back to the end zone, so they got 2 points instead of the possible 7.
So Central comes with the blitz, and that ball is knocked down by number 14, Arian Hunter. So what the Spartans didn't want to happen is
3 and out.
3 and out, and Lee isn't going to have a lot of room.
Yeah, he's going to have to start from his foot just barely touching that end line. And hope the snaps last week to the punts were not consistent enough. So hopefully they worked on that during practice.
So here comes Plainfield Central, and Lee does a nice job of getting the ball away, but
takes
that's
a wildcat
fall
bounce
at the 25-yard line, and that is going to give Plainfield Central offense a great starting position.
It kind of took a wildcat bounce right after it hit the ground, so I think it came back 2 or 3 yards, which is unfortunate for Evan because that was, as you said, he was under pressure. He got that ball out.
So that's twice in a row that Lee was under a lot of pressure, but fortunately did enough to get the ball away.
It just looks like the offensive line is not ready for the kind of defense that Central's running, and the D-line is just finding a way to get through and put pressure on whether it be a quarterback or Evan.
So let's see if Plainfield Central can capitalize. They're winning the field position battle. We've got a quick motion and handoff. And looks to be, was that number 1, Tyree Levy?
Yes, that was number 1.
Yeah, on the carry.
Carried by number 1, Tyree
And he
Levy.
picked up about 6 yards.
So a good start for the running game
Gain of
on
5
Plainfield
play
South, or
to the
Central's part,
20-yard
excuse me.
line. 2nd and 5.
So if you're Plainfield Central, you're probably looking to keep the pressure on the Spartan defense. You got a 3 wide receiver set, man in motion. That's a pass over to Levy. That's a nice
that was a nice grab.
Catch.
It looked to be a little bit ahead of him, but he stuck out the hand and brought it in.
To Tyree Levy.
So 2 plays for Tyree Levy right in a row. He had the run and now the completion. And that's going to put him at 1st and goal. So already on their second possession, they were able to stop Romeoville within their own 1-yard line. So that gave them great starting field position for this drive.
That's Levy once again, makes a nice jump cut up the middle, and he's going to fall just short of the end zone. So we're going to give the Wildcats 2nd and goal. It looks to be about at the 1-yard line as they're lining up for a quick snap. There's a quarterback sneak, and here comes the first penalty flag.
Pre-snap penalty.
And it looks is an illegal procedure against the Wildcats. So trying to get a quick play in, backfires, and they're going to lose 5 yards, so it's going to be 2nd and 6.
And there was one of the dangers we were talking about with the no-huddle approach. And it's just there's probably miscommunication, and one of the people could have been not lined up right, or they didn't have the right formation.
So we got quarterback in the gun, man in motion to the home side of the field, and then it's a jet sweep. He found the opening, got the corner, and into the end zone.
Touchdown, Wildcats.
That is
Number 82.
82.
Matthews Morganfield again.
Matthews Morganfield on the jet sweep touchdown. And that puts the Wildcats on the board, giving them a 6-0 lead.
So it only took 2 possessions for the Wildcats to get their first points of the game. Romeoville's defense, they did the first drive, they held them to a pretty short running game. But this time, Tyree Levy got 2 good plays in a row that brought him right upfield.
So that's Rakuzo
Point after is good.
up and in.
With 5:04
Over the
remaining.
scoreboard, too.
Yeah.
Central leads
So he
Romeoville
adds the
3-0.
extra point up, giving Plainfield 7 a 7-0 lead with 5:04 remaining in the first
Ladies and
quarter.
gentlemen, if you participated in our senior program
So
this
Plainfield
afternoon,
Central winning the battle
we
of
appreciate
field
you being
position,
here,
and
we'd like to let
starting
you
at
know
the
that we are now
25-yard
selling
line,
senior ads in this year's yearbook.
they were able
Prices
to
vary by
capitalize,
size of
punch it
ad.
into
If
the end zone,
interested or have any
giving them an
questions,
early lead.
please go to the pumpkin
Yeah,
section
unfortunately,
on the visitor side of the field.
just that punt on Plainfield Central's part that rolled right to the 1 yard line. It's really hard to get anything going from back there, and especially if you have to give the ball up, you're going to give the team pretty good field position, and Plainfield Central is able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, so if you're Plainfield Central and Coach Pereira, you got to be feeling pretty good, getting the early points in the game.
Just might go home a winner.
So Dayton Burge is back out to receive this ball.
And if you're the Spartans, you're just looking to get some better field position than what you started in that second possession, starting inside the 1 yard line. That's a tough spot for any offense, and that's a tough spot for the defense. You know, having their opponent start at the 25.
Especially this early in the game, you never know what they're going to throw out yet. You don't know if they like the running game, like the passing game.
Sure. So the junior kicker kicks off. It's going to be a short kick, takes a bounce, but right to Burge. And Burge with a nice carry. He's got an opening. One man to beat. And he does. He's pulling away into the end zone. That's a return for Dayton Burge. That's how the Spartans answered.
That was probably the quickest return that I've seen the Spartans make in terms of rebounding from a touchdown. They've kind of struggled with that this year, recovering from giving up points, and that was just Dayton Burge was able to beat everyone in his way. So a great return by Burge puts the Spartans right back in this game.
Got to give some credit to his blocking. His blocking gave him a nice opening, and he accelerated right through that. He had one person to beat. He made the move to beat him. Scored the touchdown. That's what you always want from your return.
Especially,
it's like you block everybody you can, but you gotta at least beat somebody.
Especially right after giving up points.
Yeah.
I was really waiting for you to be like the 30, the 20, the 10. So Evan Lee comes on for his first extra point attempt of the game. Two of them were blocked against Joliet West, or excuse me, Plainfield North.
And so that kick is up, and that is no good, just wide right.
Point after is no good, and with 4:50 remaining,
So that'll leave the Spartans trailing only by 1 point now after a return right after a central touchdown. So a good way to bounce back. You know, I would even if they missed a field goal.
Anytime you can score on special teams. You know, for the Spartans, you know, you give up that touchdown, but you get those points right back.
Exactly.
So, you know, you're not hanging your head. The momentum is the pendulum has swung back to your side. You got to be feeling good in front of the home crowd. Senior night, most of the team is seniors.
Only thing I'm worried about is that the defense has not had much time to rest right after not a super long stand out there with Central since they started from the 25. But long enough that you might start feeling the effects of fatigue, especially since you're coming right back out. But hopefully that'll energize the offense a little bit next time they get on the field.
Absolutely. So Lee set to kick.
So here comes the kick. Another low kick tonight. Both the kickers.
And that's going to be number 5 who lets it bounce into the end zone, where the Wildcat offense, with their third possession of the opening quarter, will start at the 20.
So we saw two big plays by Tyree Levy. He got the 6-yard run and then a 7-8 yard completion. So the Central hasn't really shown their main game plan yet, whether or not it's passing or running, because it seems like they're doing a good mixture of both.
Well, anytime you can stay balanced to keep the defense kind of guessing what you're going to do, gives you the advantage.
I think that's exactly what Central's trying to do, since both their games seem to be working tonight. It's going to be a running play.
So that's the quarterback keeper. And he is fighting for yards, going to give the Central offense a first down. Nice run by C.J. Buffkin.
I think he broke about 5 or 6 tackles right there. That was really good running.
So that was a read option play, and the quarterback kept it. Seemed to be the smart move.
It worked. It got the first down.
So we got man in motion to the home side. Another jet sweep, the play that they scored the touchdown on. And the Spartans did a nice job. That's number 10, Richard McKinney, did a nice job blowing that play up.
Matthews, Morganfield.
So Richard McKinney, one of the seniors will be leaving the team next year. He's been pretty solid the past 2 years he's played varsity. He's been getting he's been pushing players out of bounds. He's been going where the passes are. He almost had an interception a couple weeks ago, but as we were talking about in the booth, it was really cold for anybody to catch the ball.
So nice tip. That's number 3, Daytwan Burge.
So Burge is having a good game so far, and hopefully he can carry that over to some of his teammates. That'll make it 3rd and 10 for the Central Wildcats. This is their first real test on the 3rd down, because they've mostly been 3rd and manageable range.
So trips to the away side of the field, and we got a pre-snap penalty. As the refs will confer, and that's going to be an offsides against the Spartan defense. Giving the Wildcats a 3rd and 5.
So now they're right back in that 3rd and manageable range, which is where they felt comfortable. So there's a little bit of an unfortunate break for the Spartans is getting called on that. So hopefully the defense can stop them on this one so they don't have to do it all again.
So quarterback back to pass, got a man wide open, number 4, running down the sideline. And he is going to be wrestled down after picking up the first down.
There is a flag on the play. I think someone either face masked or just took Richard McKinney down illegally. I saw him kind of fall awkwardly when someone had this hand around his face.
So that's going to be holding against the Wildcats.
Holding on the offense.
So that'll put him right back at 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 15.
It's a spot foul, so it's going to be
3rd and 5 becomes a 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3. So it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Okay.
So we got the Wildcat offense looking at their armband for the play.
It's kind of funny to watch that when they're all synchronized looking at their watch.
It's something you see more at the collegiate level. But that's a nice run by number 4. Picks up good yardage, breaks a tackle for even more. That's C.J. Buffkin once again.
Diego Ibarra kind of figured out the trick to bring him down is just really go for the legs. He broke a tackle going up at his upper body. He was able to push through it, and Ibarra just kind of grabbed him by the legs and made sure he didn't get any more yards.
Buffkin has some nice hard runs. It's only a sophomore. And that's going to be a penalty against the Spartan defense. And that's going to give the Wildcats 1st and 5.
So that's
at the 44-yard line.
5-yard penalty on the play.
2 penalties almost in a row for the Spartans, giving the Wildcats 5 more yards to play with. Something you really don't want to do, especially if you're behind. So here they go.
Got
again.
a pistol formation. Quarterback back to pass, pop pass over to number 17, wide open, and he's going to walk right into the end zone. That's a nice pitch and catch. That's Tom Gustafsson on the pop pass to the wing back.
And I honestly thought whoever he faked handing the ball off to had the ball, so I was not even looking down the field. That's just something the quarterbacks always do that I have trouble following. It's just where that ball actually ends up.
So it looks like the Wildcats are going to go. Nope. Look, first maybe they were going for 2, but nope, they're lining up for the extra point. So you got Riscuso, the junior kicker. And that looks to be wide. Oh, that's through. Look wide left from this angle.
Yep.
But nonetheless, it went through, and that gives the Wildcats a 14-6 lead over the Spartans.
So the receiver who made that catch, Tom Gustafson, he's really been in motion but a lot before the plays, and he was kind of causing a distraction for the defense. That time he did move, and he just ran right out. So I think that was the plan, was to pat. I think he was the primary receiver on that play.
And as always, as we get some scores around the area, we'll keep you updated. There's a couple of really good games, especially Manuka and Oswego East. I'm sure there's a lot of focus on that game.
Now in this conference, is anybody still undefeated?
Nope.
Everyone's lost a game at this point?
Everyone's at least lost one game. So Oswego is still in the driver's seat in terms of winning the conference.
That really doesn't surprise me. They looked like a very powerful team, even when especially when playing the Spartans.
So that's going to be Burge with the carry, and then makes another nice move, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds
Around the 30.
Yeah, looks to be right at the 30-yard line.
So that was about a 26-yard return.
Here comes a return to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Spartans.
The returns have been looking a lot better on Daytuan Burge's part. A couple weeks ago when I was watching, looked like he couldn't get the blockers weren't giving him more than 10, 15, but we've seen a return, and now we've seen over 20. So can't really complain about that.
Once again, Jacinda Lampkins, please come to the concession stand. Jacinda Lampkins to the concession stand. Thank you.
All right, so Neely under center, I formation. Quick pass over to Kerwin. And he's going to be wrestled down after a nice gain.
Newton, not Newton. I thought Cam and I thought Newton. That is incorrect. It is Cam Neely, not Cam Newton, throwing the ball.
So that's a nice opening play, you know. Build some momentum. And the nice thing, too, is the offense is making the adjustments as to, hey, the defense is giving us those slants. Hey, we'll take those 5, 6, 7 yards. We just got to make sure we catch the ball.
Exactly. And what I was trying to say before I mixed up a professional quarterback with our quarterback is Kerwin's been getting the ball every time they've thrown it. They've all gone towards Kerwin.
So that's going to be a short gain by number 5, Fabian Mariscal.
Number 5, Fabian Mariscal.
And that's going to put the Spartans at 3rd and 1.
Play to the 39-yard line. 3rd and 1 for the Spartans.
So you got the entire playbook, you know, at your disposal. You can decide to run, pass.
But yeah, 3rd and short. Anything's safe other than a Hail Mary.
Well, it would definitely keep the, they've got 9 guys in the box.
Looks like the ball is over the line.
Looks like
See where the
they're
ref spotted
marking it. It's going to be short.
On the carry. It'll be 4th and 1 for the Spartans.
So we'll see what the Spartan offense decides to do, but Plainfield Central is definitely playing for that run.
Yep, the referee is going to call it short.
So 4th and less than a yard.
The Spartans are going to go for it.
And there's Neely, and he picks up the first down on the quarterback sneak.
So 1 for 1 on the 4th down conversion tonight.
And Neely. Good for a Spartan first down.
Less than a minute remaining in this first quarter now. Not a horrible start for either team. Central's defense has been doing a good job of keeping the gain short for the Spartans, and the Spartans' defense has been looking pretty solid so far, only giving up a couple big plays when they were starting from the 25-yard line. So they can keep playing like this. We'll see what happens.
So Neely back to pass. He's got a man over the middle. Kerwin makes the catch, running down the sideline. He's got one man to beat, and he does for the touchdown.
So there's another pass right to Kerwin. He's been having great catches tonight.
Nice pass from Neely to Kerwin.
59 yards, Cam Neely to Chris Kerwin.
And it looks that the Spartans are going to be going for 2 to tie this ball game.
So I think Cam Neely is 3 for 4 on the passes. All 3 completions going to Chris Kerwin. And Kerwin caught that ball and ran. He broke away from both of those players that were on him. So that was a good play by Neely to get the ball out, and Kerwin with the good run to the end zone.
So Neely under center, quick pass, that's a slant, and that is good.
That was a good catch. I don't see the numbers. I believe it was Sir
number
Muhammad.
8, Sir Muhammad, yes. So a nice pitch and catch from Neely to Sir Muhammad. 2 completions right in a row. And that ties this ball game up with 15 seconds remaining. As we're up, it's 14 up. So a very competitive first quarter. Even though overall Plainfield Central has won the field possession battle, but big plays by the Spartan offense, and this game is tied up at 14.
Yeah, that last play by Neely and Kerwin to get the ball down the field is one of the longer passes I've seen them throw this year, and it worked out nicely. So good 6 points on that play, and the 2-point conversion ties this ball game right back up. After the missed field goal, the missed extra point, excuse me.
So Lee sets the ball.
He has it all the way on the right hash mark.
He's going to be kicking north to south. It's going to be inside the 10. That's going to be number 1. Oh, nice move, but number 24, Tariq Jones, with a nice tackle. I have Tariq in class.
Oh, is he a freshman?
He's a senior. I have him in American government.
Oh, I forgot you were teaching that class this year.
So a nice play by Tariq.
Yeah, it kept him. Oh, it looks like they're going to spot him on the 20, at around the 20. So a good stop on the special teams defense. So Plainfield Central, I think, is starting from their worst field position. So this will really be a good test for the Spartans.
So quarterback in the gun. 3 wide receivers.
There's the movement.
Man in motion. Quarterback roll out to the right, looking, and he's got a man, number 3. So a nice completion from number 12, Divelbus, to number 3, Edwards. And that's going to move the chains. As we'll get probably one last play in.
1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Which will bring a close to this first quarter.
That was a good catch to keep the ball in bounds. It was really close to coming out, and he was able to get both feet in.
So that's a quick pass over to the running back, number 4. Picks up some nice yards before he is tackled out of bounds by number 10, Richard McKinney. And that will bring a close to the first quarter as we are all notched up at 14 apiece.
So 2 drives in a row that the Spartans were able to retaliate, giving up the 6 points to Plainfield Central. We had the return by Burge, and now the completion by Kerwin.
So as we mentioned earlier, prior to the start of the game, we had senior recognition night as the Romeoville High School recognized the senior athletes and parents of the football team and of the band and of cheerleading and ponds and cross country and golf. Pretty much all the fall sports. I know volleyball has their own separate senior night, and I believe soccer also has their own separate senior night. But it's a nice recognition for many of these athletes who have given a lot of time and dedication to their craft, to this school. And it's just a nice night, a celebratory night for not only the athletes, but especially the parents who have driven them to practices and, put a lot of time in on their own.
So there's another run by C.J. Buffkin, bring him about 15 yards. So that'll move the chains again. And, yeah, you were correct about volleyball having a separate senior night. Their senior night was this Thursday.
So you can make it out for that. It's this Thursday?
It was
Thursday.
It
Okay.
happened already.
Yeah. I know there's only one last week in the IHSA regular season before playoffs begin, as most of the fall sports are going to be widened down. That's number 82 on a jet sweep, and he is going to be tackled by Mike Caceres, I think.
Yep.
Number 82.
So that's going to be for no gain, putting the Spartans at the Wildcats at 2nd and 10.
Right after giving up those big yards, it's good to have a stop and kind of slow down the offense. So we'll see what the Wildcats come up with this time. There's the motion.
So quarterback back to pass. Finds the man over to number 82, breaks one tackle before he slips. It's going to be for a short gain.
It looks like Dayswan Burge made him slip a little bit.
Yeah, putting the Wildcats at 3rd and 7.
I don't know how much it's dried up from this morning, but we went out here for PE this morning, and it was really wet.
Yeah.
We were trying to play Frisbee and stuff out here, and it was just everything was slipping. And so I don't know if that's playing a factor tonight or not. I don't know how much the sun dried it off today.
So 3rd and 7. We got trips to the home side of the field. Quarterback back to pass.
Lots of time to throw that ball.
And that is nice coverage by McKinney. Able to bat that ball down. And that's going to put the Wildcats at 4th down. And it looks like they're going to bring their punt team on.
And there's what I was trying to talk about earlier, is just McKinney's ability to stay with the ball. He was a good SWAT.
So the defense holds, and Plainfield Central is going to look to play the field position game. The
first game that Romeoville had at home this year against Oswego East was the first time that I've seen a fake punt utilized in high school football. It doesn't appear that Plainfield Central wants to test that out tonight.
Nice punt once again. And that's Sir Mohammed. Picks it up, and he's going to be brought down at the 15 or 16-yard line, depending upon where they mark it.
Number 8, Sir Muhammad on the return out to the 16-yard line.
16-yard line.
1st and 10 Spartans.
So the Spartans will have 1st and 10 with just over 10 minutes remaining in the first half. This will be their 5th possession of the half.
I haven't looked bad at all offensively. They've been getting the passes. They've been getting the runs. It seems like everything's kind of connecting tonight, which is what you want from a team that has struggled with the offensive ability.
So Neely with the option, he keeps it, and he picks up a 1st down. Nice hard run by Cam Neely.
That's definitely the way you want to start a drive, is just getting that 1st down so you can have even better field position for your next play.
Absolutely, just making something positive.
you really don't want to lose yards when you're already behind the 20-yard line, and they were able to gain a lot. So good way to start this drive. Let's see what they come out with this time.
So staying in that I formation. And that is another quarterback keeper. And Neely is going to get, looks to be back to the original line of scrimmage.
Gain of 1 by Cam Neely to the 30. Second
The way that he got tackled, I found very interesting. The way it looked like he was caught by the Plainfield Central defense and kind of laid down gently on the ground after someone tripped him up.
So 2nd and 9. Neely back to pass, 3-step drop, over to number 7, Kerwin.
So there's another pass to Kerwin. It seems like Coach Gibson really wants to get the ball to him a lot tonight, which appeared not a problem at all tonight. He's been catching, he only dropped the 1.
Yeah, obviously it was probably a matchup that they saw on film that they liked in their favor, and they're doing everything they can to get that ball to Kerwin. And outside of that early drop, Kerwin, there's been a strong connection between Neely and Kerwin tonight.
And speaking of film, we have to give the usual shout out to Mr. Randich and Kevin Hale of the TV program here that allows the students like me to come in and just, we have students on the cameras. I'm doing the commentating, so we get food from it. So thanks, Mr. Randich. We appreciate everything you do.
Neely under duress, but escapes and is going to be very close to the first down. I think he got enough to pick it up.
It looks like they're going to spot him.
So he was able to wrestle out of a bad situation and uses his legs to pick up a first down.
That's 2 first downs from Neely in the running game. So he's getting past, he's able to get the defense to buy that he's handing the ball to someone else, and he's finding the gaps. So here we go with the Spartans offense again. It's going to be handed off this time.
Yeah, that's a quick dive to number 5, Fabian Mariscal. It's going to be a very short gain. But you got to do some of those quick hitters just to keep the defense
guessing.
Yeah, off balance.
That was the play that worked with the 4th and 1, was just the quick, or no, excuse me, that was a sneak by Neely that was able to get the first down.
Yeah, for the most part, we've stayed in pretty much the same offensive formation. So nothing that's been very fancy, but nonetheless, it's been extremely effective.
Yeah, Kerwin's been lined up to the right of Neely every play pretty much.
And there's Neely. Oh, and the ball is on the ground. It looks like Plainfield Central. So we had an option play, and the ball got knocked loose, and Plainfield Central able to pounce on it. And so that puts their offense in pretty good position at a time when the Spartans were moving the ball very effectively.
That's just an unfortunate play that happens every once in a while. It's just you get the ball moving and you forget to make sure you have it in your hands tight enough, and when that tackle comes in, it just falls right out. Neely tried to recover the ball, but Central's already on it at the time that he could actually get up and reach for it. So this will be Plainfield Central's another good starting field position for Plainfield Central. There is a flag thrown in the backfield.
Short gain on the carry, but there's a penalty on the play.
So a legal procedure.
Illegal shift on the offense.
So this will bring them back
5 yards, and put them at 1st and 15.
So good thing,
It'll be 15 for the Wildcats.
not necessarily a good thing, but something
46
the defense can be thankful for is just making them work an extra 5 yards to get that first down.
Just kind of have a power I formation, and another penalty. as number 46 picks up a nice run for the first down, but we'll see what the penalty flag was.
That flag might offset everything that just happened. So
yeah, when those flags come out pretty early, it tends to be against the offense.
we're going to see what the referees decide to call it here.
So that penalty may negate a nice run by the Wildcats, and that's going to be
Illegal formation.
illegal formation.
So is that going to bring them back another 5 yards?
It is.
So the Wildcats have pushed themselves back into their own territory with 2 penalties.
So that's going to put the Wildcats at 1st and 20. So they've lost 10 yards off of pre-snap penalties.
So again, the defense can be thankful that happened. They have 10 extra yards. They can give up a little bit longer runs as long as they get that tackle in.
So that's 46 on the handoff, and he's going to be tackled very quickly.
Yeah, Josh McKenzie is the one who got the ball on that one, and the last play. That was eventually negated by the penalty.
That was number 28 for the Spartans, Kelvin Nasamoa, on the tackle. So quarterback in the gun. One running back behind him. And that is going to be a pass and quick tackle by number...
Man, these numbers are just
I think
getting
that was
too far
23,
away.
Joseph Vasquez on the tackle.
One of the only times I feel like I actually need to wear my glasses that I have.
Oh, that was Tyreek Jones. Excuse me, number 24, not 23.
43 for the Wildcats.
So 3rd and 12 for the Wildcats. This has got to frustrate them.
Quarterback back to pass. Got a man down the overshoots everybody. Looking right down the center of the field. Overthrown, and that's going to be 4th and 12. And
so the punting game for the Wildcats, they got one all the way down to the inside the 1 yard line, and the punter's been able to make sure the ball kind of bounces in his favor. Two punts have gone in his favor, so we'll see what he decides to do this time. But the field position that the Wildcats have given up on the punts have been really good in terms of them keeping it short. That one kind of takes a weird curl to the right.
And that's going to be out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
It's about a 30-yard punt.
So the Spartan defense helped out by 2 pre-snap penalties, but nonetheless they force a 4 and out.
Yeah, and that's something.
3 and out, I should say.
That's something that the offense can be something the offense can be happy that the fumble by Neely didn't end up in losing 6 more points. So Daytuan Burge is lined up in the backfield.
Neely under center. Quarterback keeper picks up once again some nice yardage. Putting the Spartan offense at second and very manageable.
2nd and 3.
So we're approaching 5 minutes left in the first half. All tied up at 14 apiece. All of the scoring occurred in that first quarter. And it's been a back and forth field position battle.
Yeah, both
quarter.
offenses haven't really been able to get any big plays going. It's going to be another quick handoff. There is a flag thrown on that play again.
I think that's going to be a face mask against the Wildcats.
Number 5 on the carry, Fabian Mariscal.
So that'll be Fabian Mariscal again with the carry, but looks like there is going to be a penalty against the Wildcats if I am correct. It is a face mask.
And it's a face mask on the defense.
believe
So
that's the 4th penalty against the Wildcats.
That should give the Spartans a first down. Yes, it will. Okay.
After the penalty, it'll be a first attempt for the Spartans at the 37-yard line.
So the Spartans are now at the 37-yard line. They're moving the ball, even though that was a penalty. They are getting the ball up. That was something we saw last drive too. So hopefully they can just make sure they secure the ball and nothing pops out, no loose change.
Neely back to pass. Looking deep. He's got a man and overshoots Sir Mohammed.
That's the first pass of the night that hasn't gone towards Kerwin. This time Kerwin was lined up on the left side.
It's not a bad call on 1st and 10.
No, you got two more downs to play with. You're nearing the end of the second quarter. So even if you do give up good field position, they have less time to get the ball down the field. But I think Neely is throwing a lot more towards his right side because they've lined up when they want the ball to go to Kerwin. Kerwin's on the right side, and now Muhammad's lined up on the right side. They're just going to go for another handoff this time, though, and get about 3 yards.
That's a quick hitter to number 2, Adado, Anthony Adado.
For 4 yards to the 41, 3rd and 6 for the
So it's going to be 3rd and 6 with 4 minutes remaining.
I saw him practicing running before the game. I think this may be his first or second game playing a running position. Usually he's on the receiving end of the ball. We usually see Burge lined up in the backfield to take the short runs.
That's a quick hitter to Kerwin. It's going to be 3rd and 2. So a nice pitch and catch. Neely to Kerwin.
Chris Kerwin.
It looks like they're going to keep the offense out on the field.
2 for the Spartans.
All right, so 4th and 2.
Xavier Lugo is lined up to take the pass on the right side along with Kerwin on the left. Timeout called by the Spartans. Looks like a little confusion before the snap, so it's probably a smart move on Neely to call the timeout if he didn't know who he was supposed to throw it to.
In the second quarter.
So that's the first timeout by either team tonight, and that's a smart timeout. I mean, you've got all your allotment of timeouts. Your 3 minutes. It's 4th and 2. You want to make sure that you have the right call. You want to make sure that one that you want to go for it here in this position, and then 2, if that's the decision that you make, you want to make sure that you have the right play.
So they are going to keep the offense out on the field. It wasn't a miscue on Gibson's part to keep the offense out there, or on Neely's part, excuse me. But a very manageable 4th down situation. The Spartans are 1 for 1 on a 4th down conversion.
So a quick hitter, and it's going to be very close. And I believe where they're marking it, it's going to be just short.
Gain 1 on 4th down.
So on 4th and 2, the Wildcat defense holds. They're not even going to measure it.
Yeah, it looked short from all the way up here. So an unfortunate ending for that Spartans drive that started out pretty good with a couple runs by Neely. We just had a couple incompletions that resulted in us losing our downs and having to resort to the run game again.
So the Wildcats, with 3:01 remaining, have good field position. They've got all 3 of their timeouts. And we're going to make it look for the Spartan defense to make another stand.
A little bit over 3 minutes remaining in this quarter.
So you got four wide receivers to the away side of the field. And quarterback looking, and he is going to be sacked. That's number 5, Fabian Mariscal. Nice play by Fabian.
And there's one of the
A
players.
huge loss for the Wildcats.
And there's one of the players that I was mentioning that plays both sides of the ball. We've heard Fabian Mariscal's name running the ball and now playing defense. Good sack by him, though. Was able to get past the D-line. Pretty big D-line on, O-line on Plainfield Central's part.
So 2nd and 14. Plainfield Central goes back to the ground, and that's going to be a short game. We got some penalty flags flying. So that's a short gain by the sophomore Buffkin.
It's going to be a false start on the Wildcats.
So that's another penalty for the Plainfield Central Wildcats.
Penalties have been killing them. They've been getting up the field, but they've been taking their own yards away with all the penalties they've been taking. Tonight's game theme that we usually have, we always have some kind of theme going on. Pink Out in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So even the Central students are having their pink shirts on. Lots of parents and students with their pink shirts on. Some of the players have pink towels. So just another good way to get involved in that community on the Spartans' behalf. And there is another flag thrown on the play. It looks like it was thrown.
Looks to be a delay of game penalty against Plainfield Central. That's going to push him back another 5 yards.
I think in the past 2 times they've had the ball, they've gone farther backwards than forwards with all the penalties.
Yeah, that's not good for the stat line.
No, it really doesn't look good on paper. 35 penalty yards in total. So 3rd and 17 for the Wildcats.
Looks to be some confusion, and quarterback calls a timeout. It looked like he was looking for number 82 to go in motion, which didn't happen. So Plainfield Central takes its first timeout.
And something we were discussing before the game is student enrollment in both of these schools. Usually Romeoville is, it is still on the smaller half of this. We have about 1,900 here, while Plainfield Central only has about 2,000, which is pretty small compared to the rest of our conference. Manuka is giant. Oswego East and Oswego are both huge schools.
Yeah, we are by far the smallest school, and I was surprised by that. I thought Plainfield Central was a little bit, the enrollment was a little bit higher than what it was, but yeah, they only have about 200 more students than we do. Not even 200 more students than we do.
They do definitely have about a little bit more than us a little bit more players than we do on the football team.
Okay, so we have 3rd and 17 with 1:50 remaining in the first half. We've got a man in motion, quarterback back to pass. And that's going to be a incomplete pass intended for number 3. Nice defense by number 4, Diego Ibarra. And so the Wildcat special teams is going to have to come back out on the field. So once again, a nice stand by the Spartan defense.
Sir Muhabid's going to come back to receive this punt. So it's going to be difficult to get down the field with that amount of time. But I'm sure if you get the passes going and the long runs, you can get down there in plenty of time and get a lead before the half.
Another nice bounce, but Mohammed picks it up on the bounce. Makes a nice move, and he is brought down around midfield. So the Spartans,
a little bit less difficult to get down the field now that you're almost halfway there.
Sure. Spartans, we're going to have about 50 yards to go. Plenty of time at 1:32. The clock does stop temporarily for a first down. And then also, they've got 2 timeouts remaining.
And being able to get that ball out of bounds, especially if you're running the ball, is crucial this late in the quarter, or in a half, excuse me. So it looks like Neely's going to be by himself in the back.
Yeah, so we have trips to the home side. Neely back to pass, decides to pull it down, and then
that's Browning.
he was
He had a lot of people after
doing
him.
everything he can to get rid of the ball, which we have an incomplete pass. So a nice job by Neely to get rid of that ball, avoiding a sack.
It looked like we had a receiver open short, but I think it was too short for Neely's liking, so he tried to look down the field, but there was just too many guys after him that he couldn't get that ball away in time. So Neely's going to be by himself in the backfield yet again, so it looks like they're definitely trying for more of a passing drive this time.
Sure, 5 wide receiver set. That's a quick pass over to Sir Mohammed, and it's going to be just short of the first down, putting the Spartans at about 3rd and 1. So the clock continues to tick.
3rd and 1 for the Spartans at
No timeout called. So clock keeps ticking, 53 seconds left. Neely is not by himself this time. And
so that's going to be the quarterback carry. That's going to be just enough for the first down. So the clock will temporarily stop to give them time to set the chains. So 46 seconds remaining. Spartans still do have both or 2 timeouts.
The ref signals to start running the clock. 38 seconds remaining before the ball gets snapped.
So Neely.
The ball comes off a little awkward.
Oh!
Muhammad almost made a great grab.
Had an opportunity to come down with it, and unfortunately isn't able to make the play. So that stops the clock at 26 seconds.
Like the ball kind of came off awkwardly out of Neely's hands. They kind of had a sideways rotation on it, not the normal spiral.
So a very low-scoring second quarter.
The lowest you can get.
Neither team has been able to punch it in the end zone.
Burge is lined up along with Neely, but I highly doubt they're going to hand it off to him. And there's the pass. Another quick pass. This one will work.
Over to Kerwin, and that's going to be enough for a first down and more. So just under 20 seconds remaining. Spartans still do have 2 timeouts, and it looks like they're going to burn one of their timeouts here. And so that's going to give the Spartans 1 remaining timeout.
So there's the first down. Here's the big plays that the Spartans have been looking for. 2 pretty nice, or not in a row, but we had a good pass right now. We had a couple big runs. The timeout is called. They don't have that much time remaining, but they are pretty close to the end zone. Probably get one more big run or one more short pass that'll get the offense going again.
All right, so we'll see what the Spartans dial up here. They're in great position. We'll get the ball at the 24-yard line. 20 seconds, so there's still plenty of time. Clock does stop on a first down. You still have 1 timeout remaining.
And you do also have Evan Lee as an option to come out and kick the ball. Just get that lead before the half ends.
So that's to number 80.
Timothy Rodriguez able to hang on to that ball.
So it's going to be a 1st and 10, 14 seconds remaining, and Neely kills the clock. So with 12 seconds left, Spartans will have 1st and 10 at the 10.
So a really good completion on the hands of Neely, and Rodriguez able to get that ball off quickly and make sure you have it. He held on to it. He was being pressured. 3 guys were on him after he got the ball, but able to keep it in his hands and pick out the first down. So after the spike by Neely, the Spartans are 2nd and 10, or excuse me, 2nd and goal From the 10-yard line.
From the 10, yep. So Neely in the gun. Looks to pass.
Open receiver.
And then it's going to be tipped, and then it's going to be caught in the end zone. So a tip pass falls right into the hands of Sir Mohammed.
Someone must have been watching the Bears game the other night.
So with 7 seconds remaining, the Spartans punch it into the end zone off the tip pass, giving the Spartans a 20-14 lead with Evan Lee on to attempt the extra point.
So unfortunately, his first one missed wide right. Let's see what he has adjusted to make sure that he put it in this time and secure the 21-14 lead going into halftime. Looks like a little bit of confusion on the field.
I think it's because there's an injury. There's an injury that's causing the delay.
So Evan Lee gets set for the kick. Everything's cleared up.
And that kick is up and through the uprights. So that tacks one more point on as the Spartans, with 7 seconds remaining, take a 21-14 lead over the Wildcats.
So if they're able to stop Plainfield Central's not getting any very big plays off, looks like the Spartans will have a pretty good lead going into the second half of this game. I think this is the first time that they would be leading after 2 quarters.
So another area action, Joliet Catholic up 21-0 over Marion Catholic. Oswego East maintains a slim lead, 6-3 over Manuka. Plainfield North all over Plainfield East, 20-0. Obviously, the Spartans just punched in another touchdown to take a 21-14 lead. Got Lincoln Way West 10-0 over Stagg, and Lincoln Way Central 6-0 over Sandburg. Providence is down 7-3 against Loyola. So there's some area scores as Lee is set to kick off.
He's going to give it the full. I thought they were going to go for a
Punches
squib
it
on this
right
one.
into the end zone. Nice kick by Evan Lee. So that will put Plainfield Central at 1st and 10 at the 20 with 7 seconds remaining.
I'm kind of surprised that he didn't just give it a little squib kick and have one of the bigger guys pick it up and run a little bit more time off the clock.
Yeah,
That's usually what you see at this level.
Yeah.
However, there are only 7 seconds to go, 80 yards, so it will be a challenge for the offense.
So we'll see. With Plainfield Central, they're lining it up like they're going to make a run at it. They keep the ball on the ground, and that's a nice tackle by Tyreek Jones.
And the Wildcats will be...
excuse me. Nope, that was number 28, Kelvin Asamoah on the tackle.
The Wildcats will be receiving the ball the start of the second half, so I don't think they're super worried about not converting on that.
Yeah,
play.
so that ends the first half action as your Spartans have a 21-14 lead going into the half. And so, hopefully the Spartans get to continue that momentum and, carry that into the second half and punch it in for their second win of the season.
They looked really solid on both sides of the ball so far.
Yeah, that was definitely a back-and-forth second quarter, and the Spartans got a break and were able to capitalize and put in the end zone right as the half was expiring. And so the halftime festivities are about to begin for many of the seniors. This is going to be the last time they get to perform. So stay tuned, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, and then enjoy the cheerleaders, the Poms, and the band.
Let's hear it for those cheerleaders. Let's hear it for those Spartans.
expected that you stare, as our talents deserve a glare. And me and my friends are used to the unkind and unfair, because discrimination is everywhere. Join us in our tale of Sideshow. Daring sword swallower. The strongest man in the world. The amazing acrobats. It's natural through work and time to want to be together. These two fine girls were quite unique. They've been together forever. Friends and I have gone through times that were incredibly tough to weather, but it's nothing compared to you find all work together. So different, you and me. I'm just like everyone. Can't you see? I want to feel togetherness with a very special someone, just you and me. change that we seek.
Welcome back to second half action as we are about to kick off with your Spartans maintaining a 21-14 lead over the Wildcats of Plainfield Central. So we've got 24 minutes remaining left in the Spartans' last remaining home game of the 2017 season as they go on the road next week at Joliet Central. So they're trying to keep that momentum coming off of last week's victory over Plainfield East and gaining their second victory of the season here against Plainfield Central. So Lee is about to kick off, kicking from north to south. And he gets the whistle. And we are underway. So Lee with a short kick at the 15. And we had a missed tackle, but number 1, Tyree Levy, on the return out to the 27-yard line. So that's where the Plainfield Central Wildcat offense will have their opening possession of the second half. So in terms of scoring, it was notched up at 14 apiece at the end of the first quarter. And in terms of the scoreboard, there wasn't much going on in the second quarter until the very end, with 7 seconds remaining, that the Spartans were able to punch a touchdown into the end zone, giving them the 21-14 lead.
A very odd catch. It was tipped by a Plainfield Central player, and Sir Muhammad got behind the ball and caught it. So you take them as you get them, and I'll definitely be fine with taking a 7-point lead right now.
Yeah, so we have an opening jet sweep, and we'll see what type of adjustments both teams make, both offensively and defensively. For Plainfield Central, you know, they still have some very slim playoff hopes alive. They got to get to the magic 5th victory, and sitting at 3-4, this is a game. This is a must-win game for them. So that jet sweep picks up about 8. We've got the quarterback in the gun, man in motion, and that's going to be a quick hitter to the running back. It looks to be enough for a first down. So for their opening possession, they pick up the first down.
And that's a play that the Central Wildcats have been using a lot, is that jet sweep, especially for the 10-yard possessions. So that's something the Spartans defense has to get used to and start stopping, because they're giving up big yards still on those jet sweeps.
Yeah, that's how Plainfield Central scored one of their touchdowns, was on that jet sweep. So another man in motion. Quarterback rolls to the right and gets the ball underway.
Looks like it wasn't caught.
Looks like, yeah.
Pass is incomplete.
Incomplete, and we have a penalty flag.
There was a penalty on the
There was
play.
2 receivers in the same spot. And we got an illegal man downfield on the offense.
An eligible man downfield.
So that's going to be Plainfield Central's first penalty of the second half.
And that's something Central struggled with in the first half, was just the penalties. They had 35 in total for the first half, and now it looks like they're going to add 5 more onto that for total for the game. So
that's
first
their,
and 15.
Yeah, that's their 7th penalty of the night. So that's number 17 on a nice hard run.
That is Alec Danko. Or excuse me, Tom Gustafson.
Picks up some nice yardage, putting the Wildcats at 2nd and 4. So the Wildcats at the 45-yard line, staying in the shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers to the home side of the field. Single wide receiver to the top side of the field, and that's exactly where they go, over to number 3, who picks up the first down, but is
brought back like
met
12
by
yards.
Richard McKinney with a nice tackle. But nonetheless, even with that nice tackle, it was enough for the first down.
That was one of the farthest pushbacks I've ever seen. He caught the ball and went back 11 yards after.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that the refs didn't blow the whistle sooner.
And maybe they thought there was an opportunity for the ball to come out.
So the Wildcats in the pistol formation, man in motion, a little bit of a trickery, and an end around over to number 82, who picks up a first down. That is Matthews Morganfield. So a little trickery and enough for a first down.
So less than 3 minutes into this, and the Wildcats have already gotten into Spartans territory and are now only 13 yards away, or excuse me, 17 yards away from the red zone. Quarterback still has the ball.
He
looks like he's going to run about it.
Looked like he tried to fake that there was an oversnap. Picks up a little bit of yardage for a 2nd and 6.
So we've seen a couple passes, but mostly a lot of running on this drive by Central.
So 3 wide receiver set. There's a man in motion. Oh, and the quarterback keeper faked the read option to number 17, and the quarterback keeps it for a couple yard gain, putting the Wildcats at 3rd and 3.
And the signal for the man in motion to start going in motion, the quarterback lifts his ankle, or lifts his whole foot off the ground, not just specifically his ankle, to signal the man to come across.
How do you lift your ankle?
I would love to know. I would love to know how to do that.
I'm not a smart man, but. And so that's 17 on with the carry. And he is as
fighting.
Chris Berman would say, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling before he is wrestled down.
There was at least 14 guys in that pileup. And not all of them were Romeoville, obviously. But
that would be a penalty.
Yeah, I know. a little bit more than the allotment of players.
Yeah.
That was something at the Powder Puff game that the coaches didn't recognize. And there was some plays, there was like 13 girls on one side, and there was one player, there was like it looked like the entire team was out, and they're like, Urban came over the announcement, was like 11 people on the field, please.
So there's an off-tackle run by number 4, and he dives for the end zone, and it looks like they're going to mark him just short. So Plainfield Central being very methodical on this opening drive of the second half. So they're going to be 2nd and 1, maybe even less than 1.
Yeah, they're really close. There's probably just going to be a quick dive into the end zone. I'd be surprised with anything else.
And the handoff to number 4 for the touchdown, but there was a late penalty flag. Looks in the area of holding.
Oh, more flags being thrown after a couple Central players were upset by the call.
So there is going to be a holding against the Plainfield Central offense. And you might get an unsportsmanlike penalty as well.
So more and more penalties just coming in this game. We're going to see how far back the refs spot the ball.
And that's going to be a dead fall, unsportsmanlike conduct also against Plainfield Central. So they go from 2nd and 1 at the 1 to 2nd and 26.
Not ideal field position.
No. So 2 costly penalties. That's where you got to, as a player, you got to keep your composure.
That's about 65 penalty yards now.
So we have a trips set. We got a motion to the wide side of the field. And then we got number 17 off tackle. Picks up a few yards, but it's still going to be 3rd and extremely long.
Carries by number 17, Tom Gustafson. Down to the 21-yard line, 3rd and goal.
So 3rd and 21. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. 21-14, Spartan lead. Quarterback rolls to the left. Looking for a receiver, finds the receiver. It's going to be down at the 10. So kind of an interesting position for the Wildcats at 4th and goal at the 10.
They also,
I don't know what their place kicker's range is.
in 2 plays, they've gotten about 16 yards, which is more than they were getting on the field, so or throughout this entire drive.
So it looks like they're going to attempt the field goal here.
So the junior kicker.
So they mark the ball at the 17-yard line. The kick is up and good. But there was a penalty flag.
Oh. Looks like everyone's
They're
kind of
still
talking
trying
it
to
over.
retrieve the ball. And that's going to be against the it's going to be against the Spartans. That's their first penalty of the second half.
Let's help out that defense.
And that's going to put 4th and 5. So that brings the offense back out onto the field.
So this stop would be great for the Spartans.
So 4th and 5 at the 5. Got a man in motion, quarterback back to pass. Looking for a receiver, and that is complete. I don't know how it got through that defender's hands, but nonetheless, the receiver caught the ball, and the Wildcats are on the board here in the second half.
Yeah, the defender made the swatting motion, but he wasn't able to get his full hand on the ball and just kind of tipped it, and the receiver was still able to make the catch. It wasn't as crazy as a tip as our touchdown was, but there was definitely a little change in direction of the ball. Here's the kicker out again.
So that is up and good as the game is notched back up at 21. So quite a range of emotions there as, you know, Plainfield Central inside the 1 gets knocked back out to the 26-yard line, moves the ball down to the 10, attempts the extra point, or excuse me, attempts the field goal, and a costly penalty against the Spartans, and the puts them at the 5, and then Plainfield Central decides to go for it and scores the touchdown.
Yeah, a good summary of this game is just penalties, because both teams have been making mistakes when at times that were really not good times to take penalties. No good times a time to take a penalty.
So if you're Plainfield Central, you got to feel good. You got opening possession of the second half, and it wasn't pretty. But nonetheless, you get the points, and you tie the ball game back up at 21.
They did take off a little bit more than half of the time off the clock. So a long opening drive. Let's see how the Spartans retaliate. They've been doing a good job of bouncing back after giving up points. But I feel if Plainfield Central did not convert after those penalties, there would have been a long talking point from the coach. And I still like I feel like there still will be.
So that ball is a live ball. And it looks like Romeoville came away with it. So that ball was sitting on the ground a little bit too long for comfort.
Yeah, a really awkward touch. The first touch of the ball was one of the guys in the front row jumped up and swatted at it. So the Spartans had to get the ball before Central could. So it was just a mad scramble for the ball, and thankfully the Spartans were able to come up with it.
Yeah, it looked like it was kicked right at Diego Ibarra.
It feels like they don't want to kick to Détoine Berge anymore after that return.
I don't blame them.
So here comes the Spartans offense for the first time in this half. Kerwin slips, still makes the catch.
Loses a little bit of yardage there, but yeah, makes a nice play.
Yeah, the ball was behind him, and I think it is still pretty wet because those cleats usually grip really well, but it was just loss of traction, still able to catch the ball, but doesn't look like they got it. Oh, they did get 3 yards.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So picks up 3, 2nd and 7. So Neely under the center. Quarterback keeper option pitches out to Burge, where he is met by a couple of Wildcat defenders, and that's going to lose just a little bit, maybe about a yard.
3rd and 8 at the 33.
And that's going to put the Spartans at 3rd and 7.
Now, when you're at this range for 3rd down, especially after the other team just scored a point, you really want to convert this 3rd down. The ball, getting this momentum back is huge, and if you can't get just at least 1 first down, the defense is going to be pretty tired and having to come right back out. Neely is under a lot of pressure again.
And that is going to fall into the hands of a Plainfield Central defender, but that's going to be out of bounds. And that's going to bring on the punt team for the Spartans.
So 3 and out for the Spartans. Not the drive you want to have. It was just the completion to Kerwin was nice, but then the loss of the yard, and eventually the incomplete pass. So just not the prettiest sequence of plays, and the Spartans are going to have to give the ball right back.
So Lee on for the punt. Looks like number, can't tell if that's number 5, I believe.
So a really high kick by Evan Lee.
Doesn't take too much of a bounce there as Chris Kerwin downs the ball at the 37-yard line.
Evan Lee's punt is down at the 42-yard line. Wildcats will have a first.
So the Wildcats have shown us that they are capable of coming out and driving down the field. So hopefully after giving up a touchdown, the defense can recover and maybe even keep them to a 3 and out.
So if Plainfield Central, you've scored the touchdown, you made a stand, and now you get the ball right back. So we got 4:12 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Quarterback in the gun. Jet sweep once again over to number 4. This is a play that they have run over and over and over again. But C.J. Buffkin once again picks up good yardage. And that's going to put the Wildcat offense at 2nd and 3.
So there's as you mentioned, the favorable jet sweep that Central likes to use. And the Spartans again give up pretty good yardage, unfortunately, on a 1st down. So they're going to have to stop 2 yards. They're going to have to push Central back 2 yards.
And in motion once again to hand it off. Oh, no, that is a pass over to number 42. Or excuse me, 82. These numbers are hard to read tonight.
That does Morganfield again.
So they fake the jet sweep. but end up throwing the ball and picks up a Wildcat first down.
And I apologize for all the stuttering tonight. I feel pretty burned out after a lot of tests this week. And
we did have all school testing this past week.
PSAT. And even though there was a lot, you had to sign a contract saying you can't discuss problems after the test. Twitter was blowing up with people discussing the problems. It was a very strange instance, and the College Board official account on Twitter was getting after it too. It was just a very interesting night after the test. If you remembered the readings they were just making jokes about all the readings, and I've never seen that before. And it was a very interesting little section of tweets to read.
Interesting.
Especially when people are arguing over answers.
And then you got a pitch and catch out to number 19, Reese Lilly.
19 on the reception, Reese Lilly.
So that's going to be a first down for the Wildcat offense.
Number 10, Richard McKinney.
And that's going to be another this is a lot quicker than the last drive that the Wildcats had. They've only used about 2 minutes of their time, and they're already about at the 27-yard line.
So they're definitely trying to pick the tempo up.
There's the ankle lift again.
And so that's number 4 on the carry, off tackle. Actually started up the middle, but he bounced it to the outside. Once again, picks up some nice yards, and that's going to put the Wildcats at 2nd and 3.
Ball spotted at the 20-yard line, 2nd and 3.
So the clock keeps ticking. We're under 2 minutes remaining here in the very fast-paced third quarter.
Yeah, after that opening drive, it's really been the tempo. The clock has been running. The players have been moving the ball very quickly.
So there's a jet sweep once again over to number 17. So the 6'2", 235-pound running back picks up a first down for the Wildcats.
It just the Spartans are giving up a lot of yards on the first down, and that makes it really hard to stop them and make sure that they don't get it across the line. So I'd say, and just making sure you stop the first down is one of the most important things that the Spartans need to work on.
So there's a sweep, and that's going to be just short of the goal line. So it's going to be 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2 at the 2.
That must be good luck somewhere. If anyone's into numerology.
The handoff to number 17, who falls into the end zone for a touchdown. So that's the 2nd touchdown for Plainfield Central this half, as that propels them to a 27-21 lead with the opportunity to tack on the extra point.
So that's 2 possessions in a row that Plainfield has converted on. Romeoville got the ball back at one for a very brief time, went 3 and out, and now the Central Wildcats converted on a turnover, or a punt.
Yeah, the time of possession has been dominated by Plainfield Central in this third quarter, and that kick is up and good, giving the Wildcats a 28-21 lead over the Spartans.
I'd also say that Central's had the advantage in total yards gained overall, because they've been moving the ball a lot quicker and a lot more frequently than Romeoville has.
Yeah, and in the college world tonight, just came across score, but Clemson is in a very tight ball game, 24-24 with Syracuse in the fourth quarter.
And also on the college note, I ran into Jordan Nettles and a couple other people from the last year's football team on my way downstairs, and it was cool to catch up with them. They said they're having a great time. New experience, they said. So just best wishes to them.
In updated scores around the area, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Manuka's got a 10-6 lead over Oswego East. So that's kind of the showdown of the SPC tonight. Outside of this game, of course.
Yes, all the action is always at Spartan Stadium. Unless it's boys volleyball season, then it's in the gym. Here comes the kick. Another one that they just put on the ground.
And so that's a nice return, giving the Spartan offense great field position. That's number 9, Connor Pitcher, on the carry. So Romeoville comes out with 57 seconds, and this is only their second possession of the second half.
And that's something you risk when you do those the hop kicks. Is just you're going to give them good field position. Even if the ball went for a touchback, for instance, they'd be at the 20. But since they went for the short kick, they're at the 37 already. So it's just one of those decisions that you have to make as a coach. Is if it's too dangerous to kick the ball to the primary returner. And Plainfield Central has decided that Dayton Burge is too much of a risk. So nearly out of the pocket. Kerwin's wide open.
That's actually number 2, Adado, Anthony Adado. It looked like a 7. At
yeah.
first I saw that too. I was like, some of those numbers are hard to read sometimes.
Yeah, I know. The only time I feel like I need my glasses.
But a nice completion. Giving the Spartans a first down. 1st and 10.
So a good gain for the Spartans on that play. That's what you want to see.
So back to the I formation. Neely hands. Oh, no, he doesn't hand the ball. Quarterback keeper, and he's going to pick up a first down and more.
For a second there, I thought the ball came out, but I didn't see it. I eventually realized that it did not come out, and the Spartans do indeed have a first down. So 2 pretty big conversions in a row. Now they went from the 47 to the 28.
Yeah, it's a great first 2 plays, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely better than the last drive. And even if they do, hopefully they don't, but if they do get stopped here, this is definitely within Evan Lee's range if he can kick like he did last year.
So we got Kerwin in motion. We got a sweep over to Burge.
Good block.
Trying to find the corner, and he is going to be met and tackled for a loss, and that will end the third quarter. As Romeoville is down by 7, Plainfield Central scores 14 points in that third quarter, giving them a 28-21 lead over the Spartans. So that third quarter definitely went the way of the Wildcats in terms of time of possession. They had, they dominated the clock. They had 2 possessions. They scored 2 touchdowns. The Spartans have answered nice on this drive. Hopefully that continues. So they'll be at 2nd and 13, but the Spartan offense is threatening, and they need to put some points on the board.
This is definitely building for an interesting fourth quarter. Hopefully after those last two conversions, the Spartans are able to stop the Central defense, stop the Central offense and have a little offense of their own. So here comes the offense back onto the field. We have Lugo and Rodriguez lining up on the right side with Kerwin and Dado on the left. Burge is in the backfield. Kerwin overthrown a little bit. Good patience on the hand of Neely. There was a couple of short passes available, but he knew Kerwin could break away from the defender, but just a little bit overthrown. So that'll bring up 3rd and 13.
All right, I'm back.
Yep, a little interference with the gate on top of the booth, but
situation under control.
Complete in the end zone. 3rd and 13 for the Spartans at the 31.
All right, so the Spartans at 3rd and 13. So we got a double twins formation. Neely back to pass, under pressure, rolls to his right, has a man open, and it's going to fall just incomplete.
That was it was underthrown a little bit.
That was a pretty nice, timely blitz by the Wildcat defense.
Definitely put a lot of pressure on Neely for that one.
And so, once again, the Spartans are kind of in one of the odd field position. You know,
Looks
4th
like
and 13 isn't the most ideal, but they're close enough, not really for a punt. A little bit far for a field goal.
It appears that they're not going to bring out Evan Lee.
So the the Spartans are going to be going for it here on 4th and 13. Neely back to pass. He's under pressure, and he is going to be sacked for a huge loss.
Now that is where you have to throw the ball away. I think they just gave him about 10 extra yards of field. Oh man, I really can't think of the word. I'm struggling right now. Field position. Thank you.
That's not what you want to see here. And as the Spartan defense is going to be coming back out onto the field. So for Plainfield Central, they've had a couple of possessions, scored on both of them, so they got to feel confident, and the Spartan defense needs to answer here. As the Wildcats come out in the gun, hand the ball off. As number 46 picks up a first down and more. So if you're Plainfield Central, you're trying to take as much time off the clock.
I feel there's about 3 or 4 guys that can break 5+ tackles on one drive or one play. And that's really what's been getting the yards down the field, is just the ability to stay on your feet.
So Plainfield Central stays on the ground once again, picks up a couple yards, met by a host of Spartan defenders.
46 on the carry, Josh McKenzie. Tackle made by number 5, Fabian Mariscal. 2nd and 7 at the 35-yard line.
So one of the longer second downs that the Wildcats have had this half with the 2nd and 7. So a little more pressure put on the offense to set up for a manageable 3rd down.
Well, ball's on the ground, but takes a hop right back up to the running back.
It almost
tries
looked
to
like
get the corner, and there is a late penalty.
It almost looked like he did it intentionally, like a basketball.
Penalty on the play.
And that's going to be against the Wildcats, so that's going to push them back.
So another untimely penalty for the Wildcats. 2nd and 12 now. So it looks like they're in the same formation that they usually, the most common formation for them.
It's like a double wing.
No man in motion this time. Open receiver makes the catch, but is pushed out of bounds at around the 43, 44-yard line.
Pushed out of bounds by Richard McKinney.
That's a formation you used to see back in the 70s.
3rd and 8 at 36.
I would not know that. A little too young
Me
to
too.
remember those. Yeah, you weren't even.
Oh, I was born in the 70s, but
You probably weren't old enough to remember football.
not in the 70s,
Yeah.
no.
You got the Bears in '85. I know you were probably happy about that.
You don't want to remember the Bears for
Or the Bears right now.
That's what they're.
So we got a handoff up the middle. That's to Tyree Levy. It's going to be a very short gain, and that's going to put the Wildcats at 4th and 7.
It is 4th down and 7 at the 35.
So it's going to be interesting to see what Central wants to do on this one. They're probably going to do the same thing that Romeoville did.
And once again, it's kind of in no man's land.
Yeah, too far for the range of most of the kickers in the high school level, but too close for a punt.
So here we go, 4th and 7. Big play for the Spartan defense. Got a man in motion. Quarterback looks to throw over to number 4. He's going to complete it. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be enough for a first down. So a nice play for the Spartan offense, or excuse me, the Wildcat offense.
There were a couple nice plays for the Spartan offense. Just not at the moment. A little bit under 10 minutes remaining now.
And for Plainfield Central, it gives them an opportunity to take more time off the clock.
There's the
man in motion there, that jet sweep. Yep, and then he's going to be wrestled down by number 50. That's Anthony De Hoyos.
Tackle made by 50, Anthony De Hoyos. Second down.
So picks up 3.
That's about where you would want to keep that jet sweep, not letting up the big yards like they have. So a good stop keeps them at a
Sometimes it's hard to run that jet sweep to the short side of the field.
That's what's really been impressing me about this
that's
offense.
a nice play by number 28, Kelvin Asamoah. Man, he filled that gap, and if he didn't make that tackle, that running back might have scored. But he came in there and made a nice tackle.
Yeah, that's what we've seen is that the running back's been able to break free and make it way farther down the field than the play probably was the offense was even expecting. So nobody lined up in the backfield for this play, 3rd and 7. But they are going to hand it off anyway.
That's number 4 on the carry, and he's looks to be enough for a first down.
First down, Wildcats.
So that will move
first
the
down
chains.
for the for Plainfield Central, as they are just dominating this time of possession in the second half.
Here comes the man in motion again. No handoff this time. Quarterback will keep it. Is able to break.
And he's trying to make the corner, and that's a nice job by McKinney. And so that's going to be a loss for the Wildcats.
So that's a good play from the defense, making sure that the quarterback sneak or the quarterback keep doesn't get any farther than it should, and especially getting it for a loss this close to the end zone is what you want to do.
So it's going to be 2nd and 16, under 8 minutes remaining. Quarterback back to pass. Found a man wide open. That's number 4 for the touchdown. So that's C.J. Buffkin on the pitch and catch, and he falls into the end zone for a touchdown. And so that's going to be the 3rd touchdown for the Wildcats this half.
I believe, how many, have they had 3 possessions so far?
They've had 3 possessions.
So they are 100%.
3 possessed, 3 for 3.
So that is something that the Spartans needed to prevent, which
so,
is.
Yeah, the extra point is up and good. And that's going to extend the lead for the Wildcats to 14 as they take a 35-21 lead over the Spartans. So with just about 7:45 remaining, this is a critical time for the Spartans as they need to respond down 2 scores if they have any hope of winning this game.
Yeah, Plainfield Central has been doing a really good job of moving that ball down the field. They've never really had great field position this half, but they've just been able to get that jet sweep on the first down has been killing the Spartans defense. They've been averaging 6 or 7 yards every time on that, which is just unfortunate. It's been hard to stop.
Yeah, in terms of area action, there hasn't been any real change in scores. So those are kind of standing pat at this moment. But like I said, for the Spartans, this is a critical time. Like, we need to come away with some points here in this in this possession.
So I'm going to say that I am expecting a short kick again and nothing high.
And you are absolutely right. So that's going to be McKinney. And he dances his way out to the 36-yard line. So a nice return by McKinney.
McKinney's been one of those players that he can do defense, but he can also do the special teams. I've seen him out a couple times. He's been blocking. He just picked that ball up and had a good return. So just one of those players that you would love to have on your team.
Okay, we'll see what the Spartan offense dials up here. We're going 5 wide. Neely in the gun. So it's going to be a quick pass over to Adado.
The ball comes out.
And they say that it was a completed pass. Plainfield Central picks it up. And that is into the end zone.
The pass was backwards initially, so they were going to lose yards, but Dotto could not hold on to that ball after he got hit.
Oh, and they're waving off the penalty, so the touchdown stands. Looked to me like it might not have been a completed pass, like he didn't really make a football move, but nonetheless, the ref saw it something different, and Plainfield Central, I believe that was number 17, a guy who's been called a lot on the offensive side, but Tom Gustafsson scores the touchdown, the defensive touchdown.
He's been running the ball pretty well for the Wildcats, and now he played defense right now. And here's a kick, and it looks like it's good.
Kick is up, and it is good. You're absolutely right.
So that's 4 touchdowns on 3 possessions plus a fumble recovery. So the fourth quarter, not too good for the Spartans. They were only down by 7 coming in, and they've given up 3 more.
Yeah, they were up 21-14 at the half, and the second half has just not gone the way of the Spartans, and they're down 42-21.
Yeah.
So with 7:27 remaining, the Spartans are really in a hole now, needing 3 scores to tie this game with 7:27 remaining.
It's not impossible, but it's going to be a challenge. The defense has been doing a pretty good job of keeping Romeoville contained. We had a couple big passes on our second possession, excuse me. So here comes the most likely short kick again.
And there is a penalty. I'm going to say, yep, it's going to be an offside. So we'll re-kick.
See, I thought that was going to be one of those penalties that'll be assessed on the kickoff, or assessed on wherever the ball ends up after the return. But
well, it happened where it's like it never kicked.
Yeah. So now they move the ball 5 yards back.
And we'll do it all again.
So 7:27 remaining. Spartans down 42-21. There's the short kick. McKinney is going to grab it again. Or excuse me.
That's number 5, Fabian. Nope. Not 5. Number 9, excuse me, Connor Pitcher. On the return. And so the Spartans come back out onto the field. 1st and 10 at the 39.
Connor Pitcher, my partner in Spanish today for the summative speaking exam.
Yeah, how'd that go?
pretty well. You know, can't complain. Trying to discuss heroes and what heroes do in the Spanish language.
In Espanol.
See, we're pros already. And a completion to Mohammed, about 6 yards gained on that play.
So for the Spartans, they're gonna have to hasten the tempo.
Yes,
Down 21 with 7 minutes remaining. They still have all 3 of their allotment of timeouts.
I would be expecting more passing than running on this drive. But Neely's under pressure again, able to get a throwaway.
And that's over to Kerwin.
It looks like they're going to call it complete.
That's a nice throw from Neely. Nice catch by Kerwin. More importantly, it gives the Spartans a first down.
So that'll stop the clock temporarily. And that catch was huge. They haven't been able to get a lot of plays off on this defense, and being able to get into the opposing territory in 2 plays is a pretty good start for the Spartans offense. So if they can keep that energy rolling, they might be able to get down the field pretty quickly here.
And so that's going to be Burge on the carry. He's going to pick up a couple before he's brought down.
Dayton Burge on the carry.
I thought I saw a couple people jump before that play started, but no call on the play.
So it didn't happen.
Exactly. I think I saw a couple people jump, but the refs didn't see it. I didn't see it.
So 2nd and 7. Neely back to pass. Over to Mohammed. Breaks a tackle. Mohammed down the sideline, and he's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown.
So 4 plays, and 4 or 5 plays, and the Spartans are right back into the end zone and able to get that touchdown.
So a nice job by Sir Muhammad to break the tackle, and he marches into the end zone. So we're cutting into the Wildcat lead as Lee comes on to attempt the extra point.
He has missed 1 tonight.
So that kick is up and good.
Point after is good.
And the ball did not go into the maze of bleachers. It hit off and came right back onto the tarmac, or not the tarmac.
The tarmac.
The track.
Yeah.
Finding that ball back there is not a fun job. So
the Wildcats with 6:04 remaining maintain a 14-point lead, but a fantastic job by the Spartan offense to get a pretty quick score.
That's really all they needed right now is just they just needed to get down the field quickly, and they were able to do that. And after Muhammad broke that tackle, we are right back into 2 touchdown deficit.
In terms of college football news, Clemson, number 2 in the country, trails Syracuse 27-24 in the 4th quarter.
How much time is left?
Last time I looked, it was 6 minutes and 10 seconds.
So probably not much more than that. Or obviously not much more than that. Probably not much less than that.
So Plainfield Central put the formation looking for an onside kick here.
I would not be surprised by that. There it is.
And there it is, and it's a live ball, and Plainfield Central comes away with it. So their offense will come back out on the field.
It did get pretty far down the field, though, so it won't be amazing starting position for.
Kind of kicked it a little too far for an onside kick.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
With the hopes of recovering that. Makes it difficult, more difficult for your special teams. So time-wise, if they continue scoring quickly, there's still plenty of time here, but now it's
up to the defense.
Up to the defense.
They got to make sure that Central doesn't get down the field quickly, or they got to make sure that they don't even get a first down. But that jet sweep has There's not going to be a jet sweep this time, but.
And that's going to be number 16. And I imagine you're probably going to get a healthy dose of the run game.
Oh, yes. It's too risky at this stage in the game to throw the ball, especially if you're in the lead.
So the Wildcats are going to be at 2nd and 3.
Another substantial gain on the first down.
So they're not in any rush to snap this ball. And there is a penalty as the running back is going to pick up the first down.
And more.
But we'll wait and see what the penalty is.
That's another thing. It's the same thing that Plainfield's been dealing with the whole game, just giving up their yards to penalties.
And that's going to be a false start against the Wildcats. That's their fifth penalty of this half and 11th penalty overall.
Yeah, they've been losing a lot of yards, and I think that's the reason that they don't have a larger score than they do. They were able to convert after they lost about 26 yards on one play for unsportsmanlike and offsides. But it's just been penalty after penalty for them, and they've at least lost 70 yards on these penalties. Looks like the Plainfield Central is waiting to get the play. Here comes the jet sweep.
It's number 82. Tries to cut it back, and he's going to be it's going to be enough for a first down. So on a 2nd and 8, they pick up 9.
About 4.5 minutes left for the final home game of the season for Romeoville. A lot of bodies in front of the ball here.
There's an end around over to number 82, and he gets pushed out of bounds, which is going to help the Spartans.
82.
It looks like when the ref asked for the ball, the player gave him a high five and then the ball. So.
2nd and 3.
So since the player went out of bounds, that'll stop the clock at about 4 minutes. Definitely seems like Central's trying to get Romeoville to jump again, though. They're waiting to snap.
So keep it on the ground, and it's going to be very, very close to a first down. Looks to be where the refs are marking it's going to be enough. So at 2nd and 3, they pick up 4. And so that gives a new set of downs for the Wildcats.
47-yard line, 1st and 10 Wildcats.
So they're going to do everything they can just to take as much time off of this clock. Spartans still do have all 3 of their timeouts. Imagine at some point they're going to use those. That's a nice, tough run, picking up a couple of yards before their running back is going to be brought down. It's going to be about 2nd and 6.
Looks like he pushed about 3 yards after he was about hit at the line of scrimmage and pushed through it for 3 more yards.
Plainfield Central is not in any hurry whatsoever. The quarterback's watching the back judge and took a little too much time, as that's going to be a delay of game penalty against the Plainfield Central Wildcats.
2nd and 12 at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, something I learned last time I was broadcasting is that referee I never noticed this, but the referee in the back is the one actually doing the play clock since we don't have the LED fancy scoreboards on each side.
And once he starts moving his arm, he counts down
from 5 to 1.
Yeah. So gives the quarterback an opportunity to watch that back judge and see where they're at with the play clock. Quarterback keeper. And he is hit hard by number 4, Diego Ibarra.
So looks like they're going to be put back right about where they started this set of downs.
So we're going to be at third and 9.
3 to the 46, third and 9.
2.5 and ticking on the clock.
And that's going to be number 4 on the carry. And he's going to be very close to a first down. It's going to be just short. So it's going to be 4th and 1 with 2 minutes remaining. And there is a quarterback keeper, which is going to be good for a first down.
So that gain on the third down was a pretty large running play, which is what this whole game has been. Central has been doing very well. Is just moving the ball with the running game. They've been getting a lot of yards, especially on the first downs, and we've mentioned it a lot. But the jet sweep has been working very, very much in Central's favor. And they have the ball with less than 2 minutes remaining, with the clock continuing to run down. There's that jet sweep.
Once again, they pick up good yardage, and that's going to be a timeout. As the Spartans are going to take their first timeout. And the Wildcats are going to be at second and 5.
So that's the first stoppage of the clock we've had in a while. We had a player go out of bounds earlier in the quarter, about 4 or 5 minutes ago, and Romeoville just decided to use their first timeout. They still have 2 remaining.
Yeah, so in terms of updated scores, Joliet Catholic up big, 63-7 over Marion Catholic. Minooka still holding the 10-6 lead over Oswego East. Plainfield North, 51-7 over Plainfield East. Oswego's got a 20-3 lead over Plainfield South. And Wheaton Warrenville South, 24, Lockport 17. So there's some updated scores throughout the area. Syracuse beat Clemson, so the number 2 team in the country falls to unranked Syracuse. That's a huge win for the Orange. Well, that's good for my Buckeyes.
Big Ohio State fan.
Huge Ohio State fan. So the Spartans are going to take their second time out of the half, leaving them with 1 remaining. We got 1:25 left in the game. 42-28 lead for the Wildcats as they have a 3rd and 1.5.
And my favorite sport is hockey, and the Blackhawks last night. Kind of disappointing how the game ended up. A pretty controversial call on an offside ruling. The Minnesota Wild scored a goal that pretty much everyone thought was going to be called offside, so coach challenged it, and he was wrong, and the Wild scored a goal on the power play that they get from a wrong coach's challenge. And then 2 empty net goals, and it was just a bad – it feels like if that one play hadn't happened, it probably would have gone into overtime.
Could have been a different game.
Yeah. So it just shows how one play can change a game, especially in hockey. But now back to the football that we're all here for.
Hey. So here we go, third and 1. Plainfield Central keeps it on the ground, and they're going to pick up the first down.
I wonder if Gibson's even going to use his timeout right now.
So the clock will stop temporarily. We'll reset the chains. And with 80 seconds remaining, the clock begins. So it looks like Plainfield Central is going to come away with the victory and move them to 4-5, or excuse me, 4-4 on the season, and that sets up for them a showdown with Oswego next week. And with a victory against Oswego, Plainfield Central's got a great shot of making it into the IHSA playoffs.
Yeah, but that Oswego team is going to be a very difficult hurdle to jump.
Oh, it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah,
I'm not going to deny that, but they still at least have an opportunity, to potentially make the playoffs.
Well, there is a W flag in the other section for Plainfield Central. I don't think they're flying that for the Cubs.
Probably not.
But you never know. They could be bragging. And that will end the game for the Romeoville Spartans. They will lose 42-28 to the Plainfield Central Wildcats.
So we'd like to thank you for tuning in tonight. Unfortunately, the game didn't go the way of the Spartans. Thanks for supporting Romeoville High School. Thanks for supporting the team all throughout the fall. I'd like to thank once again all of the seniors and their parents for all of their hard work and dedication to their craft. And the Romeoville Spartans are going to be on the road next week against Joliet Central, so come out and support them in their last game of the season.
Yeah, it's been a good year working with you again here at the Spartan Stadium to broadcast these games. Not the result we wanted, but, always a good time coming out here supporting the team.
Yeah, so the next broadcast will come to basketball season, and, that brings it close to our coverage. And I'd like to thank you for all, working with you, and Mr. Wysick, too, as well, as he is on his honeymoon this past week. And, just keep on supporting the Spartans.